This is my 2003 BMW 3 Series ZHP. It exists. One of my favorite things about it is that it's a manual, but it does some things that just aren't all that manual, and I've never felt super comfortable with driving it. It's never really clicked for me where I could just bang off heel-toe downshifts and shift really quick without having to think about it. And the reason for that is the CDV, or the clutch delay valve, which will slow the rate at which you can release the clutch and lift up on the pedal, in theory to allow for smoother shifting. But when you're trying to drive enthusiastically, it's really just a hindrance. It's just kind of doing its own thing. Seems pretty automatic to me, so we're gonna get rid of it. But first I gotta do one other thing here. Just gotta hang on. That was easy. The tools needed to restore manual purity to my transmission are actually, it's a pretty short list. A jack and jack stands, of course, then some vice grips, two 17-inch wrenches. This one's very dirty for some reason, and an 11-inch, did I say inches? Two 17mm wrenches and an 11mm. And for this one, I've actually gone for a proper flare nut wrench, because when they get smaller like that, it gets a bit dicey, and you don't want to strip that out. So with these tools alone, we will purge the automatic filth from my clutch, and all will be manual once more. Truly blessed. One of my favorite features of the E46 is the integrated jacking points. Apparently, the alarm was armed. Under the car, we have not enough room to move, but right here is the 11 on this bracket that is not attached to anything. I think that bracket's supposed to go on the slave cylinder there, and there is the bleeder screw. So we undo that 11, and that will unhook the line from the rest of this. And there's our two 17s here and here. And this one here is actually the clutch delay valve. And really all we're doing is unscrewing that and taking it out and replacing it with nothing. Then we put everything back together and it's good to go. But first we need to gently pinch this line off with our vice grips so that we don't lose all of our fluid. So the point that we reach is this thing hanging down is the clutch delay valve right there on the end of the clutch line. So now we just take our two 17s, put one on each of those, and twist them apart. Santa, I want a lift for Christmas. I've been good, I swear. I've only tormented Hoovy a little bit this year. Come on, there we go. Yeah, here it is. One clutch delay valve. And here you have it. This is the culprit. This is what has been automatically ruining my manual pleasure. Now, as you can see here, this is pretty much the size of the entire clutch line, but if you look through here, you see that tiny little hole? That's all that it's actually letting through. And that slows down your clutch release in an attempt to make it smoother for people who are unskilled plebeians at driving stick. But I, as a seasoned stick driver who is basically Michael Schumacher except shorter, have absolutely no use for such things. So away it goes. Now it's as simple as redoing the clutch line. There's going to be 117 back to the 11 and thread it back through that ridiculous bracket if your bracket is actually still attached. Mine is not, so I'm going to leave the bracket out because I don't feel like undoing the slave cylinder bolts to actually put the bracket back in place. But I am going to keep the bracket for whenever I have this car on a lift and I have the wherewithal to actually, do it properly. Oh. Getting the thread started is the hardest part here. on. That said, I just did it. Heck yeah, I am a genius. Now I need a 17 and my 11. Oh, please, sir, can I have, like, some engagement? I saw a lot of stuff on the internet about how to bleed the clutch. Some stuff said that it was actually self-bleeding, and if you want, you can just drive it and the air will work itself out. But you can also gravity bleed it. It uses the same reservoir as the brakes, so be careful not to run it dry, because then, well, you'll have to bleed the brakes. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to loosen the bleeder, which is not a 9. It said it was a 9. It's actually an 8. They lied to me. Bleeder. It's not an 8 either. It's even smaller. What are you? A 7? I don't have a 7. It was a 7. Okay, so this is a gravity bleed, so I've cracked that open. I'm just gonna let it drip here for a little bit. I don't see any air coming out. That is looking pretty free of any bubbles, which is genuinely impressive, but I want to make sure there's this big old curlicue thing here, and I want to make sure that all the bubbles have a chance to work through that. So I think I'll just sit here and watch it drip for a hot minute. And when I'm done with this, I'm gonna need to make sure that I top off my brake fluid. On the plus side, this is some very clean fluid coming out of here, which is good. This does look like it has been maintained, at least to that extent. I'm not sure if I said this, but in theory, this is a self-bleeding system, so I could just drive it, and air bubbles will supposedly work out of the clutch back up into the reservoir. The brakes are not self-bleeding, but the clutch is, from what I read, but hey, this is more immediate. There's more stuff to do. Okay, I think that's dripped enough. I haven't seen any bubbles come out. Really need a wrench for this. Give me my socket back. Where did I set the bleeder cap? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. It's bled. I think I might be too. Yeah, I hit my head. But that's news to nobody. I don't think I mentioned, but you're gonna want to do this with the cap loose so the fluid can get down. As you can see, it's just a little below max. So let's just throw a little bit of .4 in there. .4? I think it's .4. I'll have to look that up, and then we'll be good for a test drive. Welcome to the chair. My suction cup broke, so you get the chair. So clutch feel, exactly the same when parked. This should really only affect fast shifts, sort of. So let's get out somewhere where I can shift with a quickness. Boy, that's a big scary puddle on the ground where my car is parked. I sure hope nothing's wrong with it. At least the clutch is engaging and disengaging properly, so I haven't, you know, ruined it or anything, so that's always good. Let's see what it's like going through some gears here. Oh, my camera! Okay, so I'm gonna have to get used to it again, but it feels like a normal car now. I always thought this car, oh, I can rev match now. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm already adapting to it. Oh, it actually feels like a real car now. BMW, why did you do this? BMW, why do you do anything really, especially your current cars? But oh my gosh, this is like going from automatic to manual. This is a whole new experience. No wonder everyone gets rid of these. Truly elite now. Oh man. I mean, rev matching doesn't sound as impressive at 2,000 RPM. Yeah, higher in the rev range, where really you can hear that straight 6. I mean, this 4th to 3rd rev match. Yeah, that's the stuff there. Weird, my pants feel tighter than usual. My camera again. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a manual elitist out of 11. What a great 5-minute mod. And if you have a stinking lift, it's so much easier, I'm sure. It's kind of sucked on the ground, but hey, whatever. You do what you have to. And I'm sure if you have an old E46 kicking around that needs a clutch valve delete, you're not exactly working with a ton of money. But at any rate, thanks for watching. I'm gonna put the camera down now so I can actually drive this thing properly and experience the gloriousness